So
Right,
finally, let's jump into.
Now we pull off our glasses
Yes.
and do a twirl.
Wonder Woman.
Who can do the new Wonder Woman thing?
I'm done. Okay, so now we're gonna get to
Can't
Wonder Woman, the movie that everybody, even Marvelites, was like,
Yeah.
this movie can't fail, could it?
Right.
I mean, it's our origin story. It's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
It's one of the most
Gal
iconic
Gadot.
female superheroes ever.
Yeah.
And now she's
It's
gonna
not
get
the
her
most
full,
iconic, yeah.
her first live action full length movie.
And the fourth
You know
in the
what's the worst that can happen?
the fourth in the DCU franchise.
Yes,
And
yes.
the DCU has been, I won't even go and say in mixed results. It's been
Although
pretty
we
bad.
still defend,
Mixed-
we
mixed to
both
bad,
can
mixed
still
to
defend
bad.
Man
Yeah.
of Steel.
Right, yeah, I ultimately find myself defending Man of Steel and actually liking it, but it
Me too,
really
but
had
not
really,
as much as
really had
it-
problems. Then Batman v Superman happened, and I was like,
Which is
I
officially,
have-
guys, his worst
I have
movie of the
thing-
year.
I have things I
forget-
like about Batman v Superman.
I
Let's
know,
not
I
forget Suicide
detest.
Squad.
no, but
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, and then
it.
Suicide Squad is just a hot mess. But Batman v Superman is the one that just, I don't know, that was the stab in the heart for me. I mean,
It's a huge disappointment.
huge, and it was one of those.
It was a lot of egos going on. That's
You had
basically-
no excuse. To me, that movie had no excuse being that bad. At least with Suicide Squad, they could say, well, it didn't really get a fair shake. They only had 6 weeks to write script. All them kind of things.
Yeah.
But Batman v Superman, they had
Forward-
2 years. Holy
forward
crap.
thing is
Whatever.
it, and it was-
With Wonder Woman, they say, okay, it's a kind of a reset. Now we have the second Trinity character again in the movie. You know, Wonder Woman is a big Trinity character. She is the kind of the center in many ways. In my opinion, in some ways more than Superman, especially with some of the current narratives. And they had to give you something. Let's see what they're going to do. This is a long time this coming. And, well, this one was interesting. And
Yeah.
it's actually kind of good.
Yeah.
Just kinda. It was damn good, man.
Damn good.
Well, guys, let me just run through the story, if you will,
Yeah,
if
go
the
ahead.
trailer hasn't spoiled it, right? So, yes, this is essentially the origin story of Diana Prince,
Yeah.
aka Wonder Woman. So we see her on the island of Themyscira,
Themyscira.
Themyscira, right? We see her at a very young age,
Yeah.
and it's been established that, you know, she was formed out of clay by her mom,
Yeah.
yes?
Hippolyta.
Hippolyta.
Played by Connie Nielsen.
Yeah.
And yes, shockingly enough, I was confused between Connie and
Robin
Robin
Wright.
Wright because they
Wright.
look so similar.
They do.
Yes,
They
yeah.
Entire
do.
P, yeah.
So Robin Wright plays the sister.
Entire P.
Yeah, right. And then of course you see her grow up and she's trained at a very young age to be like the biggest, baddest warrior. And the idea is because, you know, Ares, the god of war, could be showing up anytime soon,
Yeah.
and you know his presence is still felt. So it's like, you know, they have to be ready. And this island basically is shielded from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And at the world at the time there was World War One.
Yeah.
You know, so the original premise has been shifted from World War Two to World War One.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Which I think they did. Didn't they do that in the new comics?
That's
yeah,
after, though.
Actually,
Is
yeah.
it Rebirth or New 50?
I think there's a new movie choice for one.
Yeah, I
Somebody
think it's
correct.
the movie. I think
No,
it's the
yeah,
movie.
and then the comics reflected it.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, well, I'm not sure. Right.
that was a surprise.
Yeah.
Because when I heard they was going to go World War One, I was like, well, thematically it makes more sense.
Yeah.
For me. So they had to like for Wonder Woman. So I actually like that they did that.
Right.
They did it for the movies because it was mentioned in Batman v Superman that everything was 100 years ago. Like, wait, what? 100 years? Oh shit, World War One. That's kind of clever. So go ahead, Martin. Yeah.
Right. So one sunny day, we'll talk about sun in a minute.
Yeah.
Pilot by the name of
Steve
Trevor.
Steve Trevor. I'll say Stephen. Yeah, played by Chris Pine.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Hello High Water, one
Hello
of
High
our
Water.
favorite movies of 2016.
Water, yeah.
Y'all need to see that. It's awesome, right? So he crash lands in the water. Diana observes it, goes down, saves him, and of course, this is the first time she ever saw a man. And I like that little moment that they played there, by the way. And while there's some German soldiers end up coming through, but long story short, she learns that there's this war. Well, she learns about the war through Steve, and you know her using the lasso of truth and whatnot. And then, you know, she ends up in London at the height of the war, and then we learn that there are these couple characters more or less kind of orchestrating events in the war. One is this German general by the name of Erich Ludendorff.
Yeah, Ludendorff.
Yeah, played by Danny Houston, who loves to play bad guys. He was William
Yes.
Stryker in X2.
Yeah.
Great movie. I know you don't like it.
Well, the head vampire in 30 Days of Night.
Which
Love
I
him in
haven't
that.
seen that in a long while. I really dug that movie though, yeah. And the scientist played what's her name? Dr. Poison.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot the actress's name, but basically she creates these poison gases, which of course, if you spread them in the air, people die.
And well, World War One was the advent of chemical warfare.
Yes, yes.
Which for the first time you got a sense of chemical warfare in history. So,
Right.
I'm glad that they bring her character in and made her so relevant to the story.
Yeah.
And she in the comics she was actually her Wonder Woman's first villain. Well,
Right,
Jenna
yes.
Smith
Oh,
was
really?
a
Okay.
male-
I
was a
didn't
male
know.
character.
A male character, right?
Right.
Yeah, I knew that Dr. Poison was a big character, and so I'd like when I heard that, I was like, great.
Right.
Yeah,
And the
but-
thing is with Wonder Woman is that, you know, because she was raised from such a young age to do good and, you know, try to stop Ares, she's assuming
lives.
yeah, she saved lives. She's assuming that this whole war is somehow caused by Ares, right?
Right.
Yes.
And I like how the film kind of plays on whether it's true or not, right? And you know, while she's there, she's learning about life there, and then she also sees the horrors of war, and also, you know, doubting herself as to whether she should really, you know, save humanity and all that kind of
Doubting
stuff.
if man is worth
Yeah,
saving.
if man is
Yes.
worth saving. And that's all pretty much I have to say about that. So yeah, well, I'll just jump in on thoughts of the film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, at first I went in hoping that it would be good. That was the one thing. I was hoping
Yeah.
that it would be good. I mean, it's an origin story. There's no way you could mess up our origin story. I mean, I know there's been examples.
Green Lantern.
before. Yeah.
yeah.
But with such an iconic character like Wonder Woman, come on.
Yeah.
But this one, they actually did it justice. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Not as much as I wanted to, unfortunately. I'll get to that later on. But maybe that's just because of my track record. You know, sorry, with Warner DC's track record before with their movies.
Yeah.
You know, with Man of Steel in particular and Batman v Superman. Not so much Suicide Squad. That was a throwaway movie for me.
Yeah.
But you know, the performances were on point, especially from Gal Gadot.
Oh, yeah.
I'll talk about her in a little while too. The story itself was well told, well paced, and unlike certain films made by Zack Snyder, I mean, yes, I know he's good through some hard times before. Hard times now because of, you know, what happened with his daughter and all that. But you have to admit, most of his movies have this kind of dull, desaturated.
Saturated.
Desaturated, sorry.
Yeah.
Oops, getting my terms wrong. Look, but you know, here I could pretty much make out what's going on. You know, when you're on that island, it looks so vibrant and so
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes,
geez, man, like where was all this color all this time?
There was color when you needed color. There was
Dark when it's-
darkness when you needed darkness.
Yes,
It
yes.
was perfect.
And-
What was the name of the director? The female director?
Patty Jenkins.
Patty
Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins, yes, we have
Fantastic
to
job.
mention that.
Yeah.
The
Wonderful
last film I
job.
saw
Game of
from her was Monster, which I
Yeah.
saw years ago, and I was impressed by.
Yeah.
You know, gave Charlize Theron her first Oscar.
Yeah.
I hope she gets more. Just saying. But I thought that she did a fantastic job here. The way how she was able to balance not just the superhero antics and the big budget special effects stuff, but
Yeah.
also the characters and just the depths and the dimensions and layers that these characters have, you know. Well, the major characters are really not so much the side characters and stuff.
Yeah.
But but I'll go more in depth afterwards. But you all wanna share your thoughts on the film?
Boy, this was Captain America: The First Avenger all over again for me.
Yes.
And that is
It
not a
was.
bad thing I'm seeing. I really enjoyed that film. I really liked it. This one I really enjoyed as well. For me, overall, I think the only thing I'll say that kind of spoiled it a little bit for me is because I watched the trailer. I saw stuff. So it kind of spoiled it for me in that sense.
But-
Because
Yeah,
you
there was
Yeah.
stuff in the
you saw
trailer there.
most of the action, some of the bigger action set pieces you saw in the trailer or you saw leaked online. And I think that was a mistake I made. I should have, like, you know,
Cut off after the first.
not undermine.
I'm avoiding
But it could
these
help it.
trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you see what they started
No,
bringing out
but-
trailer 3
Yeah,
and 4
yeah,
and
that's
about,
very ridiculous.
Yeah,
look,
a lot of
watched them anyway.
Yeah.
one and two could.
Right, no,
Don't
here's
get
the
me
thing. A
wrong.
lot
Yeah,
of
that's about
films,
one,
very
yes.
few films could pull that off where you saw a scene in the trailer in its full well, let's say full context, where you saw it in the full scene, and then you saw it in the full context of the film, and because it has a better edit, you'll enjoy it just as much or better because you understand why it's going on. This didn't do that. Again, this one was I'll say it played things a little safe, even though this movie didn't have any lows. It definitely had no lows. It didn't have any major highs for me. But then again, none of the DCU did. None of it. Sorry.
Right.
Even Batman and Martha. Right? Even that
Martha!
scene. Even that scene with Batman saving.
How do you know that name?
Yeah, no, even if Batman, well, the scene with Batman having to go save Martha, that's still a bad scene. But yeah, that still just fell flat for me because of this stupid reason. No, this was great though. Overall, it just again colors.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
god,
colors,
Yeah.
the colors.
the colors. Yeah, I was like,
Colours,
oh,
colours.
Yeah.
and then holy crap, a 3-act structure. Look
Yes.
at that.
So
Standard.
simple, it just
Yeah,
might
I
work.
think if anything, so I just want to say the bad first, and then I'm going to get into what I love. I'll say a couple things. I had some editing issues overall with this. Couple things like where characters supposed to be in terms of positions and how they move from cut to cut. A couple of moments I had from that was kind of off for me. I thought certain character arcs would have fulfilled, and then some of the big moments kind of fell a little flat for me. The two scenes in particular, I'll say, is when Wonder Woman reveals herself for the first time in No Man's Land, which I thought was a clever little subtext play.
Yes.
That kind of fell flat for me. But again, it's probably because I saw it in a trailer. That was the problem.
It was in the trailer. You saw that moment.
You saw that in the
Yeah.
trailer, and it's because, I saw this before. I was like, holy crap, that kind of messed up for me.
Yeah.
And then the final scene with Steve, I thought that was a weird cut. They decided to go back to the scene where she could hear this time, and I was like, wait, why they edit that a little different?
Yeah, that was-
That's a little weird. And then the thing with Steve and what Steve has to do, that kind of fell flat. It should have been stronger, but I don't think the thing is because I consider myself perpetually cynical and perpetually ironic.
He is, actually.
I more or less predicted this movie beat for beat of what a Wonder Woman origin movie should look like.
Right.
In my head, I was like, all right, this is what the script should be. This is what an outline of it was. And it didn't really have any mysteries. There were secrets and then a nice little reveal at the end there. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
But nothing about it really, really surprised me. And I thought nothing about it truly blew me away. But that's the bad. Doesn't seem so bad. Everything else is goddamn amazing.
Right.
Let us talk about that goddamn lasso.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
so cool.
It had this
God.
kind of semi-conscious way about it
Yeah.
when it was flailing about the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Wow.
What I like, but maybe because I haven't read any Wonder Woman comics, is that it actually gives off heat. I
Yes.
thought that was
Yes, it
actually
does.
really creative.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Right.
But Julian, your thoughts? Well, I actually want to save some for last. I just want you to gush over this
You want a
movie.
Wonder
Just
Woman
gush
to
over it,
finish off the
please,
Wonder
please.
Woman.
But man.
Yeah, I went in with this with really high expectations.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot, that's the pronunciation, Gal Gadot.
I keep saying Gal. I was
Gadot.
thinking Gal Gadot.
I thought it was Gal Gadot, but
Waited for Gadot.
I've
Waited
heard her
for
pronounce it
The
as
T
Gal
is silent.
Gal
T is silent,
Gadot. Yeah, she was one of the best things about Batman v Superman.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
Right.
On the bad, I would say, well, thank you for the trailer. I don't think it gave away as much as the Batman v Superman trailer.
No, that was
where
Batman
actually
v Superman was
ridiculous.
obnoxious. Yeah, that was like ridiculous.
So thankfully, there were things they left out of the trailer. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, thank goodness they left some mystery. But the only bad thing I would say, I have to agree with Ricardo, that there were not many surprises.
Yeah.
Like the mental death at the start and stuff. It's like, I kind of saw that come. I was like, did you really have to go there?
Yeah.
So they kind of followed the beat so much.
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted a little bit more.
Yeah.
But what they did, on the positive, they did so well. Gal Gadot is a star. Chris
hells yeah.
Pine had a whole lot of chemistry. This movie was really beautiful, well shot, colorful. And one thing what sets it apart from all the other DCEU, they had fun. They had fun in the movie. They didn't have to be serious
And she
all the
actually wants
time.
to save people.
Yeah,
Yes.
it had fun.
Superman.
Take notes.
Yeah,
I even liked the little side. There was the side character who was tracking her. He was
Right.
funny.
No, okay, so that, as I say, to mention Cap TFE, yeah, they were little Howling Commandos.
They were.
Yeah.
DC
who's
Howling
the
Commandos.
actor who played that guy? He's the brown guy. Who's the spy.
I forgot
actor.
his name.
You gotta get the list because he's sure up he's that guy. He's one of those.
Yeah,
guys, he's one of
those
those.
great
Great,
faces.
yeah, he's one of those great
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
actors you see around. I
Yeah.
really couldn't
The
stick me
Scottish
with it.
guy too.
He was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen him
he-
before.
he-
Yeah.
He's from Trainspotting.
Right.
He
the
was
thing
that
is-
guy with that very, very thick Scottish accent.
The only thing
love that
I
guy.
thought they would have given him an arc better. 'Cause I thought they would have resolved his arc a little better.
A payoff, yeah,
Involving
there was
one,
a
but they didn't
payoff,
do
yeah.
that. And here's the thing. Now, the show has a lot of great little subtext in it, right? Because the idea is to show a lot of it was, the failures of men. And you get to see the failures of men in various fashions and reasons, especially his character.
Yeah.
You get to see, and they do a great little nod to what was going through with him. And I was like, yeah, that's great. Same thing with the other guy, again, I forget his name. They mentioned some little bit of race stuff, a little bit
Yeah,
of
yeah.
culture stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
that
took
was
it.
a
They-
good
It's
one.
like, this movie trying to be woke. Okay.
yeah.
And a lot of that worked for me. But yeah, because they had to focus on Gal Gadot a lot, a lot of it had to get shifted. You get a feeling that this movie could have gone through one more edit. A little bit. Again, it had little unpolished edit moments for me overall. What else I was supposed to say? Yeah, that's it. I think, but I really enjoyed what they did as a product. DCEU, this is a step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
think-
Yeah.
Sadly,
Sure.
We're going back now with Justice
you
League.
gotta take them 2 steps back with Justice League. Yeah,
Oh my God!
Justice
Back
League-
to Zack Snyder.
Justice League, no, but Justice League, here's the thing. Justice League has some interesting developments from very unfortunate circumstances
Yeah,
around it,
absolutely.
but some interesting developments nonetheless involving Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
So we will see. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a rating soon, but I want to hear people bounce around.
All right,
before.
so Summer, mic is yours.
Yeah.
Take it, girl.
Well, definitely from the female perspective here, because I was so terrified this movie would not be good, and I would never get another female-driven superhero movie again.
Yeah, for like 20 years.
You know,
I
and
know.
it turned out that this movie gave me absolutely 99% of everything that I could
Yes.
possibly want.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot was amazing.
Yeah.
She shut me up. I was one of the naysayers who thought she was a little too small for the role. But you never felt that.
Yeah.
You never felt her size was an issue in the role. I think that visually this movie was gorgeous to look at, even when it was bleak,
Yeah.
even when it was dark. One of the things I absolutely enjoyed about this movie, the emotional aspect of it. Like you said, they had fun, but there were big moments, big action sequence moments that were amazing. But there were also small moments that were sweet and perfect, like with she and Steve dancing in the snow, and it's the
That was
first time
that was lovely.
she's
Yes,
experienced
yes.
snow. And that's the thing I love about how this character is written. She is strong. She is amazing. She is Wonder Woman, but she's also naive.
Yes.
She's also
Yes.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
She also is learning about the world in general, you
Fish
know.
out of water, something
Yes.
going on for a while.
And she has to learn these things about man while trying to defend man.
Yeah.
And decide, are they really worth saving? Is
Yeah.
this world really worth the effort? So I love that they addressed all of that. I love that they looked at these small aspects of war and how it affects, it rips families apart, and yet you saw the larger aspects of it as well. I love that reveal with Ares. I did not see it coming, you know.
Neither me,
So
neither me.
it was a cool reveal. My issues, as perfect as I love this movie, and I think it's near perfect, I wish the bad guys were a little more developed. I wish we got a bit more in terms of the human bad guys. I would have
Yeah.
loved to see more of Dr. Poison.
Yeah.
I would have loved to know more of
I thought she
her
was great in this,
story.
actually.
Yeah.
What we got from her was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, Danny Houston is also a very gifted actor, and it would have been nice to see him be a little more intimidating and not just appear for beats.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and the last and final battle was a bit CG heavy. I
Yeah.
know
Oh,
why
boy.
it was. It's
Yeah.
a battle between two gods, quote unquote, but at the same time, it looked a little Batman v Superman, and anything
little
that
bit,
looks
yeah.
like that
Little bit, yeah.
is scaring me.
Yeah.
But overall, this movie delivered. I agree
Yeah.
with you guys. It was beat for beat.
Yeah.
You could predict it, but there's nothing wrong with that when it's done well.
But that's the
And
thing.
it was
Here's the thing.
so well done. Thank you, Patty Jenkins.
Yes. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. That it was more than welcome given the context of DCU.
Yes.
But DCU realize they don't know how to experiment. Right? They don't know how to tinker with films and make it go above and beyond. Like, look, say what I want about the MCU. MCU have a lot of standard stuff. But when the MCU come good with some of the interesting twists on how to do those twists in terms of the editing and approach, they get that shit right. Sorry.
Yes.
You know, for me, Winter Soldier, right?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
yes.
my
Love
absolute
that.
favorite
Yeah,
MCU.
Of course,
movie.
of course.
Winter
Me
Soldier,
too.
Winter Soldier
Yeah.
just
Favorite.
Love it.
build in such a great way. And I kind of want, well, we could talk about, well, again, before we give ratings, I just kind of want to talk about what a Wonder Woman sequel should look like.
Yes, why not?
This is definitely getting a part 2. I wanted to. Patty Jenkins. Well, we're not sure what they're going to do with respect to the raw green lighting of the project itself, but Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot will be on board for that, clearly,
Yes.
more than likely. Patty Jenkins has proven herself, more than proven herself as a big-time director for this, and yeah, I want to see what they're going to do with it, because now they have the room and freedom to experiment. I
Yes.
want to see what they're going to do with that. I have my own 2 cents of what a script should be. Again, my nerd ephemera attitude, entitlement. Hey, do this script. And, you know, I'll type in all caps on the internet, right? But I really want them to just take some of these ideas, you know, carry some of the feminism ideas even further. Make it work. You know, yeah, this movie just did what the ideals of feminism should be. That's what this movie did, right? We are going to save the world. Here's why. They did that. They sold that. It wasn't oversold. It wasn't
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Yes.
It wasn't
Yeah.
rammed down
oversold
your
it.
throat.
That's what they did, and
Absolutely.
they made it work.
It was well balanced.
With this, they
Yeah.
could do that, and they have the freedom and room to do that, and they prove it. They prove it. They made it work. And I want to see you could bring in. I want to see some Cheetah.
Yeah.
I want to see some Giganta.
Yeah.
You know, Dr. Poison could come back in some shape or form. We'll find out what.
We
what
can
that
even
is.
have some other gods in there because they've been
Yeah.
doing that in the comics
Yeah.
recently, and it's been amazing.
Yeah,
Right.
and they have to make. I don't know what they're going to do with it. But yeah, I still can't judge where the DCU is going with this. Again, we'll see with Justice League in November. That's a while. Look, from now till November is a lot of time. They have a lot of time to edit. They have a lot of time to change it, but I still ain't gonna put more money on this. But
I'm actually more excited for Aquaman than for Justice
yeah,
League.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I don't, you know, so
I don't know what's going on.
He seems to be having the most fun in that Justice League
exactly.
trailer than anybody anyway.
Exactly. So
Jason
that's
Momoa.
why, that's
Anyway,
why I'm
but-
so invested.
So
in
I'm
that.
gonna give my rating now.
Yeah, please
We
do.
could, yeah, I am going to give this a low IMAX. Not an insult, no, it's not a bad thing. Mostly because of how standard everything was. Some of these moments fell flat for me, but overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this. This was well done. Well, I mean, they did it standard, but it was just good project management. And as I said, you know, little issues that is more me being perpetually ironic and having quote unquote high standards for films, and you have to do it this way and that way. And you know, I had little issues, as I said, mentioned before, editing, little stuff like that. Characters was kind of moving in places I didn't want them to move in terms of flow. But overall, this worked. I mean, I'm so happy for DCU. Come on, you're back on the plane,
Yes,
playing board.
absolutely.
Hey, I enjoy that. You know, and look, from what I understand, it's already tracking 200 million for this first weekend.
Yes.
Boy, oh
Yeah.
boy. Yeah,
Good.
I enjoy it.
Somebody
So,
owes me money.
you know,
I made a bet. Somebody
Yeah.
owes me money.
I'm glad you bet somebody on this show being good at that. All right,
Yeah.
my last words. So like I said before, I did enjoy it for what it was. There were some flaws here and there. I would say, like, emotionally, there were some moments that just I didn't see coming. Like, there's this one really great scene where they were on the boat together, where they left the island, and they were just talking about, you know, that dynamic between man and woman and all that kind of stuff.
That's what I talk about. They celebrated small moments as well as large moments.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
There were some moments where I wish I felt more emotionally invested in what was going on. And it's just because of just the style of how the film was. It was just like, okay, I did kind of know what it was going to lead up to. Although there were moments in the third act where I was like, oh, I didn't know they were going to go that direction. Oh, wow, okay. I felt like the villains themselves kind of came off a little like stock villains to me. And I would say that because, like, when you have films like, you know, it's like, say, Captain America, the first Avenger, right? Which is like this World War II thing, right? So, you know, if you're familiar with, like, Indiana Jones, you know, always have these kind of slightly over the top larger than like villains, so you always kind of come off like, okay, he's the German guy, so he has to move like this, he has to talk like this.
Yeah.
I felt that was like how Danny Houston's character was, and to an
Yeah.
extent like how Dr. Poison was.
Right.
She reminded me a lot of that guy from Hellboy. The guy,
Rasputin?
not Rasputin, the guy who was working for Rasputin, the badass, the one who
Okay.
used to
Crank
yeah,
his- but-
right,
okay,
that guy.
right.
That weird kind of eccentric character is like, I've seen these characters before. And yeah, in a way, she's like that Dr. Zola from that first movie anyway. So like, yeah, you kind of expect to see those kind of characters because it's set in the war,
Yeah.
World War I. But you know how they touch on gender politics there, I thought that was really clever. How they just touch on the whole idea of man being imperfect, you know, I thought that was really clever too.
Yeah.
I like how that really, you know, counteracted with Wonder Woman's goal in terms of, you know, saving the world and all that kind of stuff. I like that particular moment where, you know, she started to doubt whether it was really Ares was involved or not. I really love that particular scene. It was like, you know, I want those blinking
As you
images
talked
kind
about
of
that, I
things.
remember the scene where she stood up to the general in the room and she's like, what kind of general sits at a desk
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
thinks
I
his
don't-
Yes,
life
like those
is
kind of
worth
things.
more than the life of his soul? There's a real general, dies on the battlefield because she had just lost her aunt as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I thought that worked really well. You could see she almost made him feel a bit belittled in
Yeah.
that
Yes,
moment.
yes,
You could
yes.
have seen it on his
Embarrass
face.
him a little bit.
Yeah.
The same
Right.
guy was like, who is this woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this woman doing among them?
Yeah.
I
And
also love how all the men around would just kind of take glances at her because she's this
Yeah.
gorgeous, you know, creature.
on the subject of Gal Gadot,
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot, I keep
Israeli
saying Gal Gadot.
military soldier.
Yep.
Yes. I was.
Everybody in Israel is military. So-
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yes.
but whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
I was amazed by her performance. Like, you know, I thought she was just like this pretty face. Sorry, I'm just about Sumi. And I find, like, you know, this is not even like a criticism. This is like, I actually kind of like this, but you know, it's more like the film itself, or at least the cameraman or whatever, like they were told, okay, do more of these close-up shots on her face because she has such a gorgeous face. And yeah, she does have a gorgeous face. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
did
sorry.
not
She just-
mind.
She just
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
I just love those
More
scenes. Like,
close-ups.
I was like,
It's like when Steve puts the
Gal
glasses
Gadot.
on her, and he's like, "I told you to make her look more plain," and his secretary is like, "Yeah, because like she's instantly that's gonna make her be the
Yeah.
You know?
less attractive woman."
But that's
You
the
know?
thing.
Ever seen?
But what's
Yes.
interesting is that, well, the thing is, I don't know what they're going to do with as you mentioned, a part 2. Eta Candy is going to be out, though.
Well, yeah, because most likely probably be in modern time.
Right, all those characters going to age out,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, they getting rid of Etta Candy, though. That kind of weird. No, that's the thing. That's a bad track record of the DCU. You notice DCU just kill off some big side characters.
Yeah.
They kill off like 4.
Yeah.
They kill off 4 big side characters so far in my opinion. With Man of Steel, they kill off the Doctor and Guardian. The big Doctor, he's a big character in the comics.
Right.
They kill off Jimmy in Batman v Superman.
Yeah,
What the
yeah.
hell?
I
was
didn't
so
even
dumb.
know. The only way I could know is because, oh, well, we have a director's. I hate you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, they kill off
Yeah,
Jimmy.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the thing is, well, Etta Candy kind of, I don't think she's coming back for the next movie. So like,
Unless
wait,
they
Etta Candy
age
dead?
her, unless they pull an Agent
Oh.
Carter, but then you said it was 100 years.
100
Yeah,
She's
she
not
dead.
gonna be
She dead.
alive.
It'll be Etta's grand.
Yeah.
Some
Yes.
crap, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. Whatever.
Yeah. But when she is on screen, she just steals it for me. Not just when she has that Wonder Woman outfit on, but when she's just when she's in London doing her things, just every time she's there, she really stepped up. She really put her A game on with this one in terms of not just acting, but just doing the physical stuff, like with the fight scenes in particular. Those moments with her fighting, I thought were impressive. Even that moment with the other Amazons facing up against the soldiers was just so incredibly
Yeah,
badass
that
and all
was
that.
a really sweet opening, actually.
Yeah, what cracked
Yeah,
me up
but-
is when she went Robin Wright's character did the badass shield thing.
Yeah.
Shield, and I was like, oh, Diablo 2 balls on noob, because that's a joke. That's like multiple arrows,
Right.
characters firing multiple
Yeah.
arrows, awesome.
Yeah, but for me, right about now, I could safely say that Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman.
Oh, yes.
Like
Oh,
I mean, Linda Carter did her thing. Much respect to her.
Yes.
Love her appearances in
Linda Carter
Supergirl and all.
has passed the
You thought?
shield.
Yeah,
sword and
exactly.
the
And lasso.
So we can move
Yeah,
past
we
that
know
jump.
that,
We
yes.
can move past that jumping and the spion, that kind of thing. Although I love the fact that we got those jump moments,
Yes.
those jumping scenes. That was
Yes.
great.
But the thing,
Um,
I
Yeah,
don't think
because
she flew
yeah.
until after what happened with Steve. That's when she seemed to realize that
Right, she could kind of fly.
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, Wonder Woman could fly, so it's like,
Yes.
whatever. That's not a
Yes.
problem for me.
Yeah.
The Linda Carter thing is that, well, Supergirl had a great ad. Yeah, anybody saw that ad?
Yes.
Oh, when she was wearing
boots.
wearing
Yes.
the boots.
And
Yeah.
Linda Carter shows up and saying, hey, nice
Yes.
boots. I like that.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
It's an ad just to lead into Wonder Woman. DC family. So.
Right. I will agree with you, Summer, that the last act, when she faces off against the main villain, was very CGI heavy.
Yeah.
But I kind of blame it on just Warner Brothers, not just DC, but it's Warner Brothers films. Okay, like Matrix and those kind of shows, they always have to go for this like over the top, grandiose final act now. Like 300 Rise of Empire, which I thought was really dope, by the way.
Yeah, actually.
So you always had to have this big, gigantic thing. At times I felt like it was a little too overboard, but it kind of worked.
Matthew, just kind of give my idea, though.
What idea?
300, she could be a villain.
Yeah.
She could be a villain.
Yeah.
For Wonder Woman 2. Who's the
Eva
actress?
Green.
Eva Green,
I
yes.
love her.
Eva Green could
Eva
come
She
ever.
is so
Wow,
awesome,
at the
yes.
Temple of Eva. There's
Yeah.
nothing
And
she's
it-
in that I don't
Eva
That's
Green
true.
could kind of be a villain.
Yes.
That'd be kind of awesome.
If
Okay.
you've seen
right.
Penny
And-
Dreadful, you know
Penny
how
Dreadful.
awesome she is.
Yeah.
And to round things up, Chris Pine, though.
Yeah.
Once again, this man
Absolutely.
show why he's probably
So
one of the best
charming.
actors
Yes.
in the game. With the Star Trek movies, I thought he was decent, but it was really with Hello High Water where he was like, he blew me away, and I was like, oh wow, yeah.
What I loved about him is to play that character, to be a man that would stand beside a woman that is that strong and
Yeah.
not feel intimidated and not feel weak. He never came across like that. He
No,
came
no.
across like somebody who was a teacher, a guide, a lover, a companion, a friend, all those things I felt. And he was funny.
Yeah,
and
that
he
was what
sweet
surprised me, the
and
comedic timing that he had.
charismatic and
Yeah.
sexy and everything. So
Yeah.
I loved it.
The comedic timing is what surprised me about it, because of course you in this island all out of the blue with these Amazons and all this kind of stuff. So the way how he reacts, I was actually impressed by the way how he pulled it off. At first I was like, okay, so he's just gonna be stop for like a few seconds and be like, okay, whatever, but his character grew out of that, and he decided to really connect more with Diana. I really love those moments. But oh yes, the music though. Rupert Grayson Williams, who does the score for this, like I thought he was just going to build off of what Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL did with that scene with Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman. But I thought that he did it well. He created the score on his own, and yes, we got that theme song that I loved, and you heard it a few
I
times.
don't
and-
usually chase scores, but I won this one.
yeah, and every time I heard that theme song, it's that what Julian humming right now, I was just pumped, Jed. Every time it plays, even in the outro, I was like, yes, I love this, I love this song. Yeah, but for
Oh,
me,
They had this,
Yeah.
well, at the end of the film, this cool, like little Justice League looking.
Oh yes,
Shadow
yes, we
smoke.
forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Yes,
Love
they
it.
do their own
Yeah.
like
At the
they
end.
say
It's like a
like
montage
how
of the
Marvel
film.
Studios do their intro for their
Outros,
logo.
yeah.
They do the same thing here with
Yes.
with
DC, yeah.
And I love
and
that.
then at the end of Wonder Woman, at the end, well, that was awesome
It's
as well.
very Injustice, the video game. I love it.
Yes. And at the end, they had this nice little thing with the smoke. That was looking.
Yes.
Love that as
And
well.
what I really like though is that it reminds audiences that you could. I mean, Marvel doing this thing, they're making it. They'll be doing this thing for like what, since 2008, and they're making great movies. But I'm not saying we use the foundation or anything like that, but we have great characters here too.
Yeah.
We have legends here.
Yes.
And here's just a little reminder, guys, and here we have a movie about one of these particular legends. I thought that they did this particular legend great justice. While it's not a perfect movie, and while I wasn't like emotionally, like, I wasn't like blown away by it completely, I would say this was probably one of the best, DC Extended Universe films like out there. I honestly see myself buying this on Blu-ray when it comes out.
Yeah.
So yes, Warner Brothers, I have two movies I want to buy from you all. First is the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to come out. And the second one is Wonder Woman for sure. So for me, I'll give this a strong 4 to 5 stars. Definitely go and see it. If you're a fan of Wonder Woman, go see it. If you're kind of fed up of seeing the Iron Mans and the Captain Americans and the meal stuff, you would have a blast with this one.
Yeah.
Girls, women, go and see this. All will love it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't like superhero movies, I mean, come on. I don't know. Like, is there like anybody who would not like appreciate this film? I don't know. Unless
I
you're
can't
like
think of it.
this Marvel hater that just generally hate all things. Sorry, Marvel lover that hates all things DC. But not, there's no way that they could hate this show. I just say. But Summer.
No, Julian?
Oh, Julian, sorry.
So, I agree with you. 4 out of 5. I had so much fun with it. It lived up to my expectation. I would have hoped they would have taken a couple more chances, but
Right.
Gal Gadot is a star. I love this movie. I recommend it. Go watch it. Big IMAX. All the feature
spend your money.
Spend your money.
For me,
Yeah.
well, with blockbuster movies, multiple viewings tend to affect your score, but at this point in time, for me, it's a 9.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Woo!
It gave me everything I wanted, and the things that it didn't fulfill, I'm happy to leave that aside. It's not stuff that's so glaring and so bad that it's unforgivable.
Right.
So, it's 9.5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, and I like how you say multiple views because I want to see this again on big screen
Yeah.
before I actually buy it on home media. I just really need to see this again. I want to bring my friends along, the ones who's like, well, I already know, I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you, yes, it's good. Come
It
and
is
see
good,
it.
yeah.
Damn it, all right? Hey, this is Matthew Bailey, and I hope you've enjoyed this segment of the BS Beats and Bailey podcast. If you'd like to hear the full episode, hit up my link tree. On the other side of my head are 2 videos you can check out. Like this video if you like it, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell as well. Thanks for listening, and until the next one, take care. Peace.